Okay, so we are at the gas station getting ready for day 2 of the festival, and day 1 was okay. It was definitely okay. I'm excited to see how day 2 goes. I'm a little nervous because usually it's Sunday in the South, which is an interesting vibe in itself. And, people are not generally out until way later, if at all. A lot of stores are closed and things. So we're going to see how it goes. I am really considering that I might not be a festival girly, and my shop might not be for festivals. This is the second one that I've done, so not a huge not market research, but there's not a large pool to draw from. But we'll see how today goes. I'm going to show you guys how I set up, and I will talk a little bit more about maybe why I don't think my shop is necessarily for festivals. Okay, so we have pulled up to the festival. I don't think you can tell, but the road right here is closed and the festival is on the other side. So with this festival, or something to consider if you're going to do vendor markets and stuff, is what the parking situation is like. So you want to follow all the rules of each event that you're doing. In this particular festival, they did say, so there's parking on site, and there's actually multiple parking sites on site, because this festival in particular is about 6 city blocks total. So it's 3 down, 2 over, 3 down, 2 over. So it's a whole, block. It's huge. So there's 2 vendor parkings on site. However, they also said that you could park close to the festival and then cart your stuff in. So I'm about a block removed. So there's a building right here, and my booth is on the other side of this building. So I have to walk down 1 block and then over about half a block. So definitely still a significant walk, to be honest. But when I arrived for pre-check-in on Friday night, so this is a Saturday, Sunday festival. When I arrived on Friday for pre-check-in, you could drop some stuff off, whatever. It took me over an hour to even pull into the site and then pull into my spot. So I was backed up in traffic for over an hour just to get to my spot to drop my stuff off. And my spot where I am is the back of the festival. So I would have to park in the front, get back through all of the other vendors trying to leave, and then go around and leave. So what I'm going to do, even though it's going to be a little bit more labor intensive, I carted in yesterday because I just have my actual product. I don't have any of my displays and stuff. When I leave today, I'm going to try to cart out everything, which is going to be a lot. But I do think it's going to save me some time, even though it's going to be a little bit labor intense. I do think it's going to save me time just because it was, I don't want to say a mess, because I think the festival did the best that they could, but it did take over an hour of sitting in stopped festival traffic on main roads to get into the spot. So I'm going to go ahead and cart all my stuff in. There's church occurring next to me, so I'm going to stop looking weird on this city street and start carting my stuff in. So the next clip you guys should see is me setting up my booth. So because the festival hasn't been going overly well, I'm using this time to take inventory and reorder anything that I need to reorder, and just make sure that for my next market I have a bunch of stuff. Alright, so this market is not going that well. well, it's not a market, it's a festival. And I explained that my product might not be for festivals because this is not the first one that I've tried where it hasn't gone that well. So my advice to vendors is definitely, if you can, have something to do um, while you're at a market or a festival. So my products, I can't really make on site. So I made a couple snuffle mats yesterday, but I can't really make most things on site. So what I have been doing is overhauling the Etsy and taking some listings down, putting some listings up. And then I've also ordered a couple things to add to the shop. So just make sure that you are spending the time productively if you can't, um, if you're not doing that work. Because otherwise that is a lot of time that you're essentially like wasting. And I know we pay a lot to be here a lot of the time. So, you don't want that vendor fee to go to waste. So at least you can be as productive as you can be. So I just wanted to do a quick wrap up after the festival. So it was yesterday and then Sunday as well. So today is Monday. And I have a couple different thoughts about the festival that I just want to share. So I think, to be honest, my product is not for festivals. This is only my second one. So to be fair, I don't have a ton of experience or a large pool to draw from. It's just the two that I've gone to have been extremely well attended. I'm talking hundreds, thousands of people. This past weekend, I would not be surprised if it was thousands and thousands of people. So it's not that it's not trafficked. And what I'm finding is that at festivals, people are there to eat the festival food, especially here in the South. State fairs are really big, fairs in general are big. So I think it's just that people are there to look around, walk around, eat the food. There's a lot of interesting food there. Maybe they're buying stuff, probably not, versus vendor markets where people are going there specifically to support small businesses, shop small businesses, and appreciate the craftsmanship. So that's why I think I might not do festivals anymore. And they also tend to be more expensive. And just for like some context, so I'll tell you exactly what I made. So I made $300 over both days, which is on the lower end for me. So normally that's about the minimum that I've been making for a 1 day, 5-ish hour event for me. I'm in my first year, so that's totally fine with me. But just for context, so I went to drop off some stuff on Friday night. I had to wait over an hour to actually even get to my spot. The traffic was so backed up. So that's not only commuting 40 minutes to the location, waiting an hour, dropping the stuff off, commuting 40 minutes back home. Then the next day it was 10 to 5. So that's 7 hours alone on the event itself. Again, not mentioning like the commuting, the setup time. And then Sunday was 12 to 5. So that's 5 hours. Again, not mentioning the setup time or the commuting time. So in total, we're talking 5 hours on Sunday. Let's just say 7 hours on Saturday. So we're already at 12 hours just in festival time. That's not setup, that's not commuting time. And I'm making $300 over 7 hours. And when you take into account the vendor fee was about, I think it was $125. So that alone minus the profit plus all of the materials that it took to actually make the product and gas for the commuting and then the time itself. I mean, it just, for me, I just don't think that it's worth it. Also, I'm sorry that the camera is wobbly. I'm trying to get my setup down. But yeah, so just to recap, I'm not sure that I'm going to be doing more festivals, and that's okay. My product might not be for festivals. I also just had like some, not weird experiences, but again, I'm just used to
vendor markets where people are there to appreciate small businesses. And there were so many times over the festival where I'm saying, hi, how are you? And people are ignoring me to my face and just walking through, looking at the stuff and leaving, which again, it's a festival, it's not a vendor market. People are there to kind of just hang out, in my opinion. But I just don't have that issue. And I can be soft-spoken, so, you know, I'm trying again, saying, hi, how are you? Nothing. So that, or, you know, some people are saying my stuff is too expensive, or just like just across the board, there were just so many, you know, different opinions. And, you know, it all depends on where you sell as well. So like, for example, the event that I did the previous weekend was more of like a city environment, and I was actually the one who was undercutting other vendors like me. So my products were actually significantly underpriced from what they were selling, which I hate doing because I hate when that happens to me. Versus this festival, my products were the ones that were a little bit more expensive. So it does depend on where you are. You want to do your research on where your people are. That being said, a lot of my repeat customers came to the booth, which was super fun. And another thing too is I will definitely admit that my attitude was just declining at a rapid pace by the end of the festival. I had stayed up really late on Friday night to get some stuff done, and that was my planning. My 9 to 5 has been extremely busy, so I didn't have as much time as I normally do to work on Fit and Flaps during the week. So I had a bunch of last minute stuff to do. That's my fault. I wasn't planning on getting stuck in over an hour of traffic getting into the event on Friday night. So that definitely ate up a lot of time. So I was really tired on Saturday. Saturday was very long. And again, not making those sales and having some weird interactions just brings the mood down. And then by Sunday, if there were thousands and thousands of people on Saturday, there were maybe like a couple hundred on Sunday, if that. So I just had a feeling it wasn't going to be the best day, and it wasn't. So as a vendor, we are businesses and we are there to make money, you know, to some degree, right? And when it starts feeling like a waste of time, that's when it kind of sucks. And so to be fair, my attitude was declining on Sunday. So, you know, by 5 o'clock on Sunday, I was ready to zoom out of there. So I don't know if I'm going to be doing any more festivals. There are some really, really cool ones here in North Carolina. So I don't want to count it out. But again, I'm just like, I don't know if my product, or maybe me, maybe I'm not, maybe I'm not festival material. I'm not sure. I might do a couple more next year and see, you know, if my attitude changes. But my local events, I do so well at. I'm so excited. We have another 2-day event this upcoming weekend. That's a huge local event. We're back in Durham the following weekend. And then I'm trying some cool other events the weekend after. We just have a lot of cool local events, which is another reason why I'm not sure that I feel inclined to prioritize festivals, because they end up just not being a good time for me. And I love the local events. I love them. I have the best time. So I might just prioritize local events over festivals for less time commitment, less buy-in, and I might end up shaking out the same in sales. So I don't know. It's something to think about, but I just want to give a realistic picture of what being a vendor can be like sometimes, especially as somebody who's working a 9 to 5 and has no plans on stopping. Just like the realities of doing this sometimes, being up until 2 a.m. on Friday night to get everything ready, and then not having a great weekend, it is kind of a letdown. So I know when I was first starting out, I was looking for a lot of different information, and I just wanted to eat up all the information that I could. So I just want to share my experience and, you know, what again, my experience of the festival. It's a little hard because these being a vendor, the circle is very small. I see a lot of the same people. I've met a lot of really great people, but you don't necessarily want to talk negatively about anybody or an event, just because, again, the circle is very small and you know, you might not want to just promote negativity. So I'm just saying I didn't do overly well at the festival. I might return as just a regular person next year to have fun and attend the festival. But I don't think that I will be back, and I might not do more festivals in the future. But yeah, I just wanted to give a little bit of a realistic picture of what this can look like sometimes. So this wasn't the most successful weekend by far, but that's just kind of how it shakes out sometimes. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.